What would it take for a highly rated Editor's Choice app to be converted to SwiftUI from the ground up? Today I'll be giving you a demo of exactly that, a prototype version of the 10% Happier app that I've built using SwiftUI. I'm a huge fan of Dan Harris of the 10% Happier team, so I thought it'd be a great way to practice my SwiftUI skills while also working on something that I'm passionate about as a meditation practitioner. First, a quick look at the 10% original app. It has a nice, clean overall design, easy to navigate, simple tabs along the bottom, and the Home tab has a variety of content that's contextual. As for building the prototype that you'll see in a moment, how much of the original app functionality was actually implemented? It's hard to say exactly, but here's a quick look at the project in Xcode. There are over 40 files for the code alone. This covers things like views and the features you interact with, as well as things you don't see, such as the data model and the routing and navigation system based on SwiftUI 4. And what you see here is no longer the 10% Happier app. You're now looking at the prototype, not so creatively named 10 Proto. It shares the same basic design with the original, although a few things you may notice are different. In some places, I've intentionally improvised to try and show the flexibility possible in creating this kind of app. The dynamic Home tab has a lot of content, with each section essentially being a self-contained sub-feature. These sub-features are built in a modular way, so they can be composed together differently based on things like the time of day or your personal interests. You can see the sleep sub-feature may be shown in the evening, while in this sub-feature, I have the option to continue where I left off in one of the courses. Moving to the Courses tab, there's a lot of content here, and everything you see is only a subset of what's available in the official app. As we browse, notice each course has working dynamic status indicators. For example, whether a course is free or has been completed, and the little red bar tracks progress for each course until we're finished. The Unlock 10% button promotes subscriptions just like the original app. When a course is touched, we proceed to see all the individual sessions that make it up, and I can find out more about the teacher by clicking on their photo. There's another tab with content focused on helping you get to sleep, which makes sense to me, being it's so difficult for so many people. And the Podcast tab makes it easy to search or browse all the latest episodes. You may notice that the proper logos for the podcasts are not shown here. This is just to allow us to use the SwiftUI vector graphics. Back to the app as a whole. Looking up at the top of the screen, you see the navigation bar. There's a button on the top left with a person, and we can see here a basic profile view with our basic stats for meditation, calendar, and additional options, and also the settings view, which has most of the settings in the original app, and of course, a disclaimer that this is not the official app. Looking at the top of the app again, on the right-hand side, we see the magnifying glass representing search. So we can go to the search and see all of the teachers are browsable here, and the suggested search terms are below. The search is not just for show, it is functional. So if we click on Sharon, we can see all of her content below based on category. So the data is structured in a way that lets us search across all content, but still be able to distinguish by category. We can see her courses here, singles, podcasts, etc. Of course, there's much more in the real app. I can also tap on a suggested search term, such as anxiety, and we see content that comes up with that keyword. And of course, we can search by typing in as well. So if I type in SH, we can see that that gets Rashi Joan Halifax and also Sharon. So we get a combination of both those content items. And as we wrap up the demo here, a couple of the small details. We go back to the teacher view, and we can see that things like this curved mask where the teacher is overlaid onto a blurred background. These are just little things that are not really noticeable, but have been hand-coded for this application, all native SwiftUI. And also on the timer view, this tab is actually different than the main app. And it was just an experimental feature to get direct access to an unguided meditation timer. We can set any type of meditation duration There's a consecutive days tracker at the top of the screen. You see the segmented control. It's a little motivational cue. And then when we start the timer, the idea of the design here is to be a little bit consistent with the built-in timer to the iPhone, but also give it a feel specific to the app. So it's got kind of a softer feel to it that's consistent with wanting to have a low-stress environment and matches the accent color of the app. And that's about it. So thank you very much for taking a look at the app. As a prototype, of course, this will not be in the App Store, but the very excellent official 10% Happier app is in the App Store. I would highly encourage you to try it out. I'm a huge fan of the app and the outstanding podcasts as well, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I do.